What's up, Falcon fans and non-Falcon fans? On today's episode of Atlanta Falcons 2023 Depth Chart Review Part 7, the defensive side of position, and we're going to talk about the safety position. So on that note, if you guys like this type of content, let me know by hitting that like button, share this video with your friends and foe, and if you want to hit that dislike button, it won't hurt your boy's feelings. Well, maybe just a little bit. But if you guys want to do a huge favor for your boy, hit that subscribe button so this channel can go even more, and I know you guys can do it. You guys have been doing a hell of a job for these couple past weeks, so thank you so much. So on that note, let's dive into the video. The Atlanta Falcons acquired Jessie Bates III in the free agency market in 2023 with a 4-year contract worth $64 million. So I'm not going to go too much in detail with this guy because if you guys don't remember, I made a video called Atlanta Falcons Case File Series Season 2, Episode 4, Jessie Bates III, the free safety. And I'll post that in the link down below so you guys can watch if you guys didn't get a chance. But pretty much I have basically stated that playing in the safety position is one of the hardest things to learn, to master, and to really understand because you're supporting everybody else. You're not really the main star of the defense. You're the supporting role. You are making sure that if they mess up their job, you're the one to, catch their backs in that sort of way. So we deeply dive into the video, explain on how Jessie Bates works well in his coverage. We talked about how his IQ and his instincts to go and get the ball or figure out where the quarterback is targeting so he can be there at the right time to make the important plays. So we also talk about his negativities on what he needs to work on sometimes he misses his tackles or sometimes that he doesn't get the full support he needs to really ball out, but still, he did a fantastic job I can understand why the Atlanta Falcons got him, even though he wasn't really our major priority for this free agency market, to be honest with you guys. But even still, if you're going to get the best player, why not just try to get the best player as possible when you have that type of cash? So now let's talk about the other starter, this time the strong safety position that we drafted back in 2021 in the second round with the 40th pick overall, and that would be Richie Grant, the strong safety. So we signed him to a 4-year contract worth $8 million. You know what's so interesting about Richie Grant's rookie year for the Atlanta Falcons? First off, he started in the nickelback position where he didn't get a chance to play safety until week 14 because the Atlanta Falcons had Daron Hartman and Eric Harris starting in the free safety and the strong safety position. For Eric Harrison went down in week 14 with a pectoral injury that ended his career with the Atlanta Falcons. Let's be honest with ourselves. So he got a chance to start in the free safety because when he was in college, he played in the free safety position, not the strong safety position. So this year, the Atlanta Falcons coaching staff decided, let's give him a shot to play in the strong safety position. So that's pretty interesting to me because there were clearly evidence that we're showing on the tape, and with the coaching staff realized that he wasn't bad, but he wasn't excellent either in the free safety position, even though he was a rookie. But you know how a lot of people have a lot of peer pressure and have a lot of expectations for these young men to come out of college nowadays. It's kind of crazy, to be honest with you guys. But even still, the coaching staff realized maybe he's more of a better fit in a strong safety position. So we'll see how that goes going now when we got our new defensive coordinator instead of Dean Pease. But even still, last year he did an incredible job. He absolutely improved on all cylinders, especially on coverage, man-to-man, cover 3, cover 4, and what he had to do and accumulate on a lot of statistics. That's really something to be impressed by. And one of his few best games were definitely against Seattle Seahawks, the 49ers, the LA Chargers. Unfortunately, we lost that, but he did a fantastic job against Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens, and then the last game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So I thought he did an excellent job. Now, there were a couple things he does need to improve on, and I'll probably dive down deep into that when I do my Atlanta Falcons, season 2, case file series on him for the next one. So we will definitely understand why and how he improved and what else he can improve now. And I think he definitely has a lot more to grow, and getting Jessie Bates III to help him out will definitely help him. So now let's continue with the other guys. Now let's talk about Jalen Hawkins, who I'm a huge fan of. So we drafted him back in 2020 in the 4th round with the 134th pick overall, and we signed him to a 4-year contract worth $3 million. So on his rookie year, he got to play in 14 games, but started in 2 of them at the very end of his rookie campaign, and he's been pretty much growing ever since. So I know a lot of people don't like him, and a lot of people think that his coverage skills is below average. Again, I've been studying all this time. Playing safety is a very interesting and very complex position to play in. And most of the time, you're going to get the support or not get the support to help you out when you got to bail out your comrades. And unfortunately for Jalen Hawkins, that the defense for the Atlanta Falcons haven't been good in recent years, where it's harder for the corners and the safeties to really make a very impactful impact, because we've been ranking on the top 5 when it comes to allowing quarterbacks to just throw over 300 yards per game, because of the lack of the pass rush that we have for the Falcons. So I think a lot of that can be misleading, but I think Jalen Hawkins is an excellent starting free safety for any other team. And I'm grateful that we still have him on the roster for 2 more years, hopefully. And, this year, he did a pretty good job. No, I know a lot of people, wanted him to be benched or be cut or whatever type of crazy palaver people coming up with. But you guys have to understand, he can't do it alone. This is a team effort. He can only do so much because he's not a robot at the end of the day. But hopefully, with our new defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen, he can definitely become even better, and hopefully we can keep him for more longevity, because at the end of the day, you need depth piece to win a Super Bowl, because when things don't go your way, when your stars get injured, you got to make sure the next man up mentality is for real on your squad. Now let's talk about Micah Ampananthe, and what's very interesting to me is that he used to play for the Tennessee Volunteers back in 2015 through 2018. Then he was undrafted in 2019, and he was with the Minnesota Vikings, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Indianapolis Colts, the Green Bay Packers, and he played for 2 arena football leagues somewhere. And then in 2022, the Atlanta Falcons picked him up. And what's very interesting about his background is that his grandfather was a civil rights activist and helping Martin Luther King out with all that terrible situations that they were dealing with at that time. So, can he ball? Apparently, no. Statistically, he only has 1 tackle and only played in 2 games, and those with the Green Bay Packers. So, he definitely has to improve a lot before he make it into a roster spot. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be a practice squad member for us. He hasn't found his footing in the NFL, and that's unfortunate for a lot of players when they come out of college, where they were balling, they were studs, but when you get into the NFL, is a totally completely different type of game changer, and sometimes they just can't handle it, or they're just not. There's a lot of factors that go into it that we don't know as fans, because we're not seeing what they're doing, and vice versa, But I do wish him the best of luck, and hopefully his career can pan out somehow with us. So now let's talk about Javonte Moffett. He was undrafted back in 2020 in Middle Tennessee, where he played in 2015 through 2019. Now he was with the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets, then back with the Cleveland Browns, and now we have him. His playing time is pretty piss poor, if you want to call it. Back in 2020, he played in 9 games for the Browns, and 2021, he only played in 5 games for the Browns, and now he only totaled 10 tackles. There's no sacks, no fumbles, no interceptions, no pass deflections. Basically, he was just there for depth piece, nothing more. He didn't really play with the Falcons last year because we just got him during the season when we're about to finish the season. And so for that, I don't think he's going to make the squad. I think the Atlanta Falcons will probably draft probably in the 7th round free safeties or strong safeties, so they both can compete for a roster spot. But besides that, I think that's pretty much it for all these safeties and free safeties that we have right now, until, maybe in the future we decide to pick up or trade, another piece for this position. But on that note, If you guys lasted this long at the very end of the video, thank you guys so much for taking your own personal day and time to watch this type of content. I really appreciate making these videos, and I'll always keep doing it until the very end. So, what do Falcons do? Rise up. Until the next episode, show love and peace to the world, and peace.